Welcome to VHS Sisters, a nostalgic movie podcast with two actual real-life sisters.
I'm Melanie.
And I'm Saysha.
Get into some comfy clothes, grab your favorite beverage,
and come hang out with us as I force my little sister to watch all the movies she missed growing up. Woo! Hi, everybody. Welcome to VHS Sisters. I'm Saysha.
I'm Melanie.
And today we're feeling the love. We're feeling the love for Love Month. I don't know. I feel, full disclosure, I feel completely insane right now. And I don't know, because it's, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love a Slavic winter arc, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can lean into winter. I can go to the banya, have some delicious warm foods. It's like soup time. It's skincare time. It's cozy time. It's time to lean into, I wouldn't say like hardcore self-improvement, but you're just you have the time and the space, hopefully, to start to weed out things in your life that you don't need and embrace the things that you'd like more of. Would you agree?
I agree wholeheartedly, as I am in the process of setting up my own home office, which is great. So I can do this podcast from a more professional location. Yeah, so I've been doing a lot of cleaning and getting stuff out, and it just feels so good.
Yeah, I mean, I think, the possessions kind of like creep in too. You're just like, I don't think you realize it until you start cleaning. But you're like, why did I buy this? And, you have to kind of do like, who is it? Marie Kondo? Is that her name?
Yes. Yeah. Marie Kondo.
Yeah. It's like, because, people have such a hard time throwing away items and you get emotionally attached to it. Like clothing, you're like, I will wear that someday, or I will use that thing. And like the way to get over that is to realize that at the time when you got it, it meant something to you, but it doesn't have to now. And you can just like thank it and be like, let's pass it on. Let's keep it moving. That's the energy of today, I feel.
Yeah.
we could just keep it moving.
If something doesn't fit, maybe look for something else, get rid of the thing you don't want. And get rid of the thing. Go ahead. Don't have kids. I was gonna say, don't have kids because it ruins your opportunity to A, get rid of clutter, and B, make moves in your personal and social lives that might be controversial.
I nodded so hard that my headphones literally fell off my head. That's the movie we're about to talk about today. The Age of Innocence, the first Martin Scorsese film I've had us watch, and he is a personal fave of mine. And I'm sure you've watched other things of his, probably Goodfellas, Wolf of Wall Street. He's got a very distinct. He's an American filmmaker, and I love him. I love how New York-y he is. He's always making movies about my hometown. Well, not my hometown, but my current town.
Sure. It's home. It's home,
right? I identify as a New Yorker spiritually. So whenever I see a Martin Scorsese movie, I'm just like, yeah, he gets this, even it's so funny. I'll sidebar. I made Ryan watch Gangs of New York, which have you seen Gangs of New York?
So I've seen bits and pieces, but I've not sat through like the entire 5-hour movie.
It's not great. It's kind of cringy in a lot of ways. And it's very like, I'll just say this, maybe I'll make you watch it at some point if this pod it keeps rolling, but it's one of those movies that is like very, I know you'll understand what I mean when I say this. It's very early 2000s filmmaking style, like quick cuts. And then it's like, it goes to like grainy footage of like old timey days. It's, it's kind of like Peaky Blinders-ish. If that makes sense, like the way it's kind of shot, it's almost like, I don't know. I feel like you'd love it, but there's some casting choices that are wild. And also the casting of Cameron Diaz as the lead is just...
That's right. Yeah.
It's really rough.
Yeah.
And I love her. Like, I think she's great. I think you can love an actor and just be like that. Some casting decisions just don't work for that film.
No. But some people like, I don't want to refer to it like that, but it's like, with our last movie we reviewed, with good old, we'll have to cut that. No good there, but
no, I'm not cutting anything.
Harvey Weinstein was like, "Oh, I love Gwyneth. Let me put her in this movie and let me look at her boobs." Like, I wonder if it was like a similar thing where Martin Scorsese was just like, "I just really find Cameron Diaz to be," and not in a creepy way, but just really liked her and just wanted to put her in the movie, even though she wasn't the best fit.
I could see Cameron Diaz being like she was really having a moment back then in the early 2000s, similar to how Winona Ryder was having a moment.
She lived the whole 90s for us. It's like,
it's crazy. Was the 90s.
It's how many movies that we've watched so far with her in it, and then now having finished Stranger Things. Like, I'm like, she is just everywhere.
She worked. That's the thing. She worked, and people were like, why did she have like this nervous breakdown? I'm like, girl, she was working too hard. She did movie after movie from like the late 80s all the way through the 90s. And it's funny because in this movie, The Age of Innocence, I remember at the time, we'll kind of go into my memories with this movie, because I watched this when I was like 12. Okay. And was obsessed with it. Although I will say, I didn't really know what was like going on for most of the movie when I was 12. Like, I feel like there were a lot of subtleties, like now rewatching it as an adult, it was kind of a treat, because I was like, oh, there's no way I would have caught that little like social snub, like, but you've watched enough period dramas. Now you're just like, oh, okay, I get it. That was very significant. We've seen Bridgerton.
Sure, as discussed per the last pod.
Yeah, I was gonna watching this movie. I was like, this. We could also talk about Bridgerton, because again, the people who made Bridgerton probably also watched this. I was going to say, back in 1993 when this film came out, the casting of Winona Ryder, like, it was, I wouldn't say it was like controversial. She was in everything. I remember her performance sort of being panned. Like, they thought she did not do a good job.
Right. It's kind of like, that's the character though. She's not like this bold actor, I don't know how to describe it, but it's like she's meant to play this character who's more subtle, more like tied into the ways of old, and just like being a little more simple and not as complex as Michelle Pfeiffer's character. So it's like, I can see maybe them like wanting her to be the star of the show, but she's not the star of this movie. She's third billing, but she's not like meant to be the one in focus.
Yeah, the character of May is like supposed to represent, like you said, that old guard. And she's supposed to be like very modest, very like, I was thinking of the character who is your namesake, Melanie, in Gone with the Wind. Very, very similar character, sort of like she represents like the gentle old days. And somebody who was very much a part of like this late Victorian era in New York. And yeah, I don't know, watching it again, I was like, she's really good. Like, she's not at all like Jo March. She's not at all like Mina from Dracula. Right. She's kind of doing she's very subdued. I was like, I have to say, like, before I get into my memories of this, I was really like left breathless at all of these shots with flowers. Like, there's this one shot where she's talking to the camera, and like they do a lot of like they're monologuing their letters directly to camera, which is such like a bold choice. And there's like all these flowers behind her. And I'm like, has anything so beautiful like been put on screen? This is like, I was nerding out about it, for real.
I was nerding out about all of the food shots in this.
Girl. Okay. Yeah, we're going to talk about food. We're going to table food. Yeah. I want to just real quick. I think that was like one of the reasons why I love this too. When I was 12, like I said, this came out 93. I would have been 12 years old. Definitely got this from Blockbuster. definitely this was like a grandma movie, would sit and watch with grandma. And I just remember like this was one of the first movies I was like, no thoughts, just vibes. I loved the costuming, like you said, the food, the interior decorating of this movie is like beyond.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought it was shot in New York City. It wasn't, by the way, fun fact, it was shot mostly in Troy, New York, which is more upstate. So they used a lot of like old libraries, university buildings, and they have like big mansions up there where they could like, you know, like shoot on the lawn and like set up stuff a little easier. And then they had to build out some sets, but like all of that woodwork, all of that furniture. Yeah, I remember just like Melanie's making a face. Yeah, she's agreeing.
Yeah, I wrote set design as 10 out of 10 in this movie.
10 out of 10. The costumes out of control. I just like I feel a little bad, listeners, because usually I take copious notes. And today I'm just going to go off memory mostly because I was so busy just watching the movie and enjoying, and just occasionally I would pause it and like scream. I would be like, look at his bow tie. Look at Daniel Day-Lewis's bow tie. Look at his hands. Look at her gloves, like on the paper, you know, the whole thing. Yeah. Did you have any memories of this movie? Did you know anything about it coming into it?
I mean, I knew The Age of Innocence for the book. Not that I've read it, but I've known that it's a book. And I think also it's like a bad pop culture reference, but I'm pretty sure in one of my guilty pleasure shows as a teen, Gossip Girl, they did like a recreation of this at some point for like a school play or something. Yeah. So it's like, I didn't quite understand like what it was about, but I just knew that they performed in it.
That is so funny. I'm going to have to watch that. I will watch that recreation. I love how it kind of seeps into pop culture. And I think it was such an unexpected movie at the time. Like Martin Scorsese was known for like Mean Streets, Goodfellas, like all these gangster movies.
Yeah, mob
movies, right? And this is just like a straight up romance, but it's very like, it's like the most, I was trying to remember the phrase you use, I think in the last, it was the last pod or the pod before. What is the female version of cock blocking? Do you remember that? Do you know what I'm saying?
What did I say? Like puss something?
I think you said like pussy blocking.
Something of that nature. We'll figure it out.
It can be whatever you want, but this movie is the ultimate pussy blocking movie.
It is.
Yeah. So yeah, you knew nothing about it, but right away you're into it seems like you're into the vibes, you're into the interiors. You don't know anything about the plot, but yeah, right away you're just like, ooh, look at all these really fetishy shots of like food, silverware, like all this stuff.
Oh yeah, I'd love that. That's a special interest of mine, is looking at food.
Well, I mean, you remember from our first couple episodes, we were talking about food and movies a lot, and this
we sure were. Yeah.
So like this one, right? Were there any dishes that stood out to you in this film?
So there was a few, especially when they were planning to have like a ball or something to talk about, like, or to like reintroduce or so-and-so to Lady Olenska.
Right.
And they could not like get people to show up, but like the prep for it, like they were like bringing out turtles and they were bringing out like goose and stuff, or like these like white farm ducks and stuff. Like, I'm like, no, the turtles for the turtle soup. That's so gross. But our grandpa liked turtle soup a lot, actually.
I get so sad. I know that people eat turtles and frogs, and
I mean, a frog I feel less bad about.
I feel so bad
I've
about
never
a frog.
had a frog, but I know it tastes like chicken, apparently, like a little bit of like a oceanic flavor because it's like a salty chicken. But yeah, I know. The food that stood out most to me, I think that like I was thinking, oh, I would love to have a bite of that, was I think it was at I forget the name of the people that they were at their house, but I think they're like an older Dutch couple or something. The Van something.
The Van der Leydens.
They had these cucumber stacks with roe on it, and I was like, ooh, I would eat that right now. Put that in my mouth.
It's a very like, I mean, it's deep winter. It's a time for like some hot house cucumbers, some caviar, some smoked salmon, because it keeps well through the winter. Again, very like Slavic winter food. But yeah, they would have had, like you said, Dutch names, tons of Dutch people back then, all like, it really like gives you this snapshot into the aristocracy at the time. One note that I did have when, we see all these montage of certain parties, and there are a lot of names thrown at you from the get. Like that's the thing, unless you're like keeping notes or like looking at the wiki, it's hard to keep track.
I know. And in fact, I did, like, while I was first watching, like I was taken with it by just the beauty of the film, right? And like seeing the characters, seeing Daniel Day-Lewis and Winona Ryder interact a little bit, I was like, "Ooh, he's really in love with her," like in the beginning.
Yeah.
And so I couldn't think that anything else would be possible. So like when he goes to hold at the theater, he goes to hold Lady Olenska. I keep saying lady. Is it Countess Olenska? They say lady, don't they?
The lady. I believe a countess would be addressed as lady because she's
Lady Olenska. So she is there, and like she extends her hand to him, and like he's to kiss it like most men would, but he holds off. And at first, I was like, he probably thinks she's like gross, or like he doesn't like her or something. Like something about like her looks or her presentation of herself being very like grand. He's kind of put off by that. So I was like, I don't know. And I totally forget where I was going with it.
It's okay. So you were talking about, you're talking about him being in love with May, and you couldn't see him loving anybody else.
Yeah. So I had to I kind of like looked up on the Google, not like for spoilers, but for like, what is happening, So I'm like, okay, so he's a lawyer.
Right.
He's a lot older, not like a ton, but he's like probably 10 years older than May.
Absolutely.
And so like, I didn't quite understand that. So I was like, okay, like, is he punching up when he's trying to flirt with this is she an older woman? But no, she's like more of his peer. So I was like trying to like get a scope of that. So I did look up a little bit of information on that while I was watching, just to like know what was really happening. And then once I understood, I was locked in, and I was not taking a lot of notes. I have some, but I just didn't I just wanted to enjoy it, and I totally did.
Awesome. Yeah, I feel like there's just little subtle things. I love that you bring that up right from the beginning when he meets Michelle Pfeiffer's character. First of all, can we just say Michelle Pfeiffer should have gotten an Oscar for this, I think.
Yes.
I think she was snubbed because her just like watching her on screen, I feel like she was never taken seriously as like a serious actress. I mean, people know her as like Catwoman. She was in Lady Hawk. She was in a bunch of like 80s things, but like she's so like open on screen. She's just gorge. And like, I'm like, of course you'd fall in love with her instantly. But all these little subtle things, like, yeah, they meet at the opera. She's sitting in the box with May, and she's like, you remember my cousin? And she offers the hand to kiss, and he doesn't take it. And there's a lot of like subtle things, which are like, oh, she's European now, right? She was born in America, but she was like taken by sort of like eccentric parents to go around Europe. And she's been around these like, what's the word I want to use? Sort of like more bohemian European types. So it's like, yeah, I know she wore 3 rings, right? Very like gauche and sort of European and like decadent.
Yeah, and like her outfit choices and everything. Yeah, just like the lush colors of the fabric. I think she was wearing like a ocean blue almost like that night at the theater, and then like another event she shows up in like a bright red dress. I'm like, ooh, girl.
I was like, ooh, girl. Yeah. The costuming, I think, won an Oscar. No, the costuming did win an Oscar. I should just say it like that. It's so well done. It's like completely to the period. It's like the kind of costuming I love, which is storytelling through the dresses. It's like you can see everything you need to know about Newland, Daniel Day-Lewis's character, like how he's also very precise with how he dresses. all like the ritual of like having like he has a cigar cutter on him, like a piece of jewelry, which is nuts. Like all these little, like I said, fetishy kind of details, like Madame Olenska, her cigarette case.
I wrote that as a note. Yeah, the bracelet as the cigarette case is so cunt.
I was so cunt. I was like, bring it back, girl. We all need to start smoking. You know,
I'm ready.
Nature's Ozempic.
Yeah.
That's a people like blah blah blah. I take Ozempic. I'm like, girl, just get yourself a smoking habit. Will you die sooner? Probably.
And you know what? It's probably for the better.
It's probably, yeah. At this point, who gives a shit? Smoke
Right.
them if you got them. Exactly. Anyway, yeah, I loved how they were sharing cigarettes together. There's so many like very fine details. Yeah, all the
art on the walls too.
Oh
like,
my God.
All the things they were procuring and like putting in their different drawing rooms and stuff. So it's like, oh, you have to get past this one to get to this room where there is I forget the name of the piece, but it's like this lady who's, you know, she's fully nude, but she's covering herself. And there's these little, like, I think cherubs around her.
Yes.
And people like come in to just look at that because that's just like such a big statement piece to have in your home. And even in Lady Olenska's, in her home, she had this almost like tiger clawing at a man or something like above her fireplace. And I'm like, that's kind of iconic. I want that for my room too.
Yeah, all the interiors, like you can see, like she loves her animal prints.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, back then they would have just had a full leopard on the floor, you know, from India or whatever. Like you just realize, like you're looking at all this furniture and all of these pieces of art, and you realize like the horrors of colonialism. And I'm like, oh, they just like took that from Africa, India, China, wherever. Like it's pretty crazy to think about like how bold people used to be. I mean, people are still bold, but like back then they were just like, I'm gonna take this. I'm rich. I got Yoink. Money. Yoink. Yeah. And just sort of like, yeah, all the discussions.
Oh, the sacred fertility vase will go so great on my credenza.
Exactly. No, exactly. And have like, yeah, people who like put Eastern religious art in their home, sort of like as decoration, like a Newland, you know, Daniel Day-Lewis's character, he's looking at a book of Japan. Yeah. And he's just like, I want to go to Japan. And he's wearing like a kimono. I'm like, this guy is, he needs to, if he had been born in modern day, like how fucking fierce.
Yeah, would he be, he would have those Delta points maxed out.
Yeah, Delta points maxed.
He'd be getting those pods all the time.
Absolutely. Oh my God. Yeah, it's just funny because you can see like Newland's character. I think that's why he's drawn to Lady Olenska. I think you made a really good point about them being peers, right? Because May is younger.
Right.
She's young society. He gets engaged to her because she's so like young. He does the typical guy thing. It's like, oh, she's young, she's fresh.
Yeah, I established my career. Let me go get some young trophy wife just to keep up appearances and, you know.
But like, you know, this is how all marriages like that work out. It's like, what are y'all going to talk about? Mm-hmm. What are you going to talk about? Like, yeah, she's beautiful. I mean, we can all agree. He's reading a book and she's like, why are you reading?
Yeah.
I'm like, bitch, you got nothing going on up there.
Right. It's just two rocks rolling around.
Just two rocks rolling around in your skull. Yeah, I think Winona plays that really well because we know Winona to be such an intelligent, sharp, like, you know, interesting person. Yeah, no, Newland's character, yeah, he's trying to make that good society marriage. We meet his family. Right away, we see the situation, what everybody's working with. So many like good, famous character actors in this, like too many to name, but I'm sure like you clocked a few of them. I'm thinking of Jonathan Pryce, Cyan Phillips, who plays his mother. It's just like there's so many. And then we get introduced to Michelle Pfeiffer's character, Lady Olenska. And then it like from then on, it's just like, it's all of these like little interludes where they're like slowly falling in love with each other. Yeah. But it's all like suggestion. It's all like little gestures. It's the banter. And I think I chose this for Love Month because I was like, all right, this movie makes me horny. This movie was made for me. This movie is like porn to me. Like there are points when I did have to turn it off upon rewatch because I literally screamed. And then I had to turn it back on.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you felt about, how did you feel about the love? Tell me.
I mean, for it being a PG movie, it was very suggestive and very horny, because like the moments where he's like visualizing her like coming and putting her arms around him, it's not actually happening. And then like he keeps playing these mind games, which I'm guilty of doing sometimes too, like at least more so in the past. But it was like, if they don't turn around by this time, then it's not meant to be. I love Destiny. And so it's like,
yes. Oh my God. Yeah. No, that whole thing about, oh my God. Yeah. When she like comes up behind him and wraps her arms around, and then he turns around and it was all in his head. I literally screamed out loud. I was
or even when like they are at a different, I mean, we're just skipping around, but that's fine. The movie's just so good. Everyone must watch it. But it's like when he's confessing to her that like, he's in love with her and all these things, like they're at her home and he's like going and kissing her feet.
Yeah.
And just like laying his head on her lap, and she's just laying herself on top of him as well. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Like
it's passionate. It's very passionate. And no, it's so funny. Right. I'm putting a lot of Ryan in this because he watched most of it with me. He was doing laundry, but he was in and out the whole evening. And he was like, he would pop in and he'd be like, yo, they fucking yet? And I said, Ryan, stop. They're not. They're never going to.
Oh, what a shame. What a shame.
I know. But like I said, it's very intimate. Like, yeah, and it's okay. I think it's okay to jump around in this because, like, if you went frame by frame, it would be too much. This movie is almost 2.5 hours long.
Yeah.
So it's like, you get introduced to these characters. You're set in the social structure. You get introduced to all the rules, and then you see how Olenska and Newland like navigate it, and it's all like we're falling in love, but people can't realize. Like the whole thing of like her going up at a party and just sitting down next to him.
Oh yeah. And like not like him not standing up or anything like that. Like the way that she just plops down and he's like, yeah, that's like a huge thing.
I think that's why period dramas are so hot, because like these days, we don't have rules, people like meet on apps. It's all very casual.
At a bar, you sit next to some random guy, you can start talking to him. You don't have to get like introduced with like your brother nearby, or like there's no laws against, speaking to unmarried men and women and all of this situation. So it's just so funny.
Well, it's interesting too, because they bring up the idea of women's freedom is brought up a couple times, and I like it because it doesn't like hammer it in your face. Like this is, feminism, blah, it's like they're being like, oh, the one character he asked Newland, he's like, oh, do you think women should be equals? And he was like, yeah, totally. And then we look at the character of Lady Olenska, and she's not like, by modern standards, she's just like a normal person. But back then it would have been like insanely shocking to like, first of all, be divorced and then coming back on your own without your husband.
Well, she wasn't divorced. She was looking to get divorced, right?
Yes, you're right. Yeah, no, she hadn't been divorced yet. So I'm sorry. She was separated from her husband, the Count. It was a bad marriage. And it's funny how like Newland right from the get is like, well, she was right to do so. And she was like, and I was just like, that's kind of like out there for you. Like, even if like, I don't know. I feel like if anyone's husband was as interested or passionate about some other woman's business, I was like, girl,
you better watch out for that one.
You better watch out. Yeah. He's such Daniel Day-Lewis in this. First of all, I forgot that he was British. His accent work was so good.
It's so good.
He's so good. He's so hot in this era. I don't know how you felt. I don't know if there were enough hotties in this movie for you, but
I think he, takes the cake for this film, being the hot male lead. But Michelle Pfeiffer was really giving it. So It was hard to not appreciate her the most overall.
This is her movie for sure. Yeah, I feel like, I mean, Winona, of course, I think she does a good job despite what critics said.
I think she plays May perfectly.
I think she does,
especially in the end. Oh
yeah. Yeah, just like all the little stuff, and I'm just like, oh wow, she is acting her fucking face off right now. She's really doing it. Yeah, I was like, Daniel Day-Lewis is such a simp this whole movie. His eyes are so wet, like all the time. Like he's so quick to tears.
Yeah.
Like in the fight, like he's talking about Lady Olenska and he gets like very passionate. And this is like before they've been, you know, sort of subtly outed, you know, from about the affair or whatever. But yeah, he's like, you know, standing in the firelight and he's talking about her and you can just see his eyes getting so like watery. I'm like, when has a man ever cried for me?
That's, you know, right. That's what love is.
It's true. I mean, you know, I like, I'm sorry, spoiler alert. The end of this movie made me sob. Okay.
I was very like distraught over it. I did not cry, but I was very like, my heart was breaking actively within the last like 45 minutes of this movie.
I was actively sobbing, and Ryan came in from folding clothes. I'm inserting a lot of
like, yo, are they fucking yet?
Yeah.
He was like, no.
He was like Harvey Weinstein. He's like, hey, do we see her fucking tits yet? Let's go. No, he came out to give me tissues because I was crying, and I was like, he doesn't want to see her again because he wants to remember her how she was. And
I know.
And I was like, and then he started to cry. Ryan started to cry because he's a Scorpio and he's very empathic.
Yes.
And yeah, he was just like, well, I'm gonna cry because you're sad. And I'm like, I'm not sad. It's just so beautiful. Fuck you, Martin Scorsese. Yeah, he's such a romantic. I mean, you know, he's an Italian. He's an Italian. Oh, did you clock his cameo in the movie?
I didn't.
So there's a scene after they push along Newland and May's marriage where she's getting shot. She's getting photographed.
Oh, he's a photographer?
He's a photographer, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, you get a little, and I was like, haha, there he is. He's like, it's my movie.
That's right.
And I'm gonna be in it.
I think that's nice though. That's a nice way to do it.
I love stuff like that. I'm like, hee, it's like a little Easter
I love a self-insert, yeah.
Just for me. I said to you, I'm like, there's a character in this movie who is you. Can you please figure it out? Or somebody who you would look at and be like, oh, that's goals.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna say, is it grandma?
Yes.
Yes. I wrote, I'm Granny. I'm just in a perpetual state of lounging with my dogs. That's my dream.
Yeah, no, it's Granny, and it's her full name. I'm gonna look it up right now because she has it's Mrs. Mingott.
Mrs.
Mingott, who's played by Miriam Margolyes. Who do you
Icon?
Yeah, you know who that is.
Icon. Yeah, she's been in everything.
She's been in everything. You know, most famously Harry Potter, but she's done so much stuff.
Well, she was the nurse for Calling Back to Shakespeare in Love. She was the nurse for Juliet in the, why am I blanking now?
Baz Luhrmann
edition of Romeo and Juliet with Claire Danes and Leo.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Baz Luhrmann real soon, too.
Baby.
But yeah, she plays, Miriam Margolyes plays Mrs. Mingott, who's like everybody's granny in this movie. Incredible, I think. Also really great American accent work. And just like when she's introduced, like we see her house, like how she's got the living room and the bedroom next to each other because she's like so she's bedridden. She's bedridden. Like she can't, she, you know, she's got special needs. It's fine. She lives downstairs, but she's covered with like 10 Pomeranians. Yes. Dressed to the nines. And I was like, and she's like talking about how once she was a great beauty.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah, when she had her hands modeled in France and, you know,
and I was like, honestly, goals. She's done it. She did it. And now she gets to chill at home with her dogs. And I feel like that's the dream.
Yeah. I gotta accomplish more so I can get to that level.
You just got to marry rich. Like
that too.
Melanie, I believe, is still taking applications.
Still, yeah. Absolutely.
She wants that good life with 10
I want to live a
Pomeranians.
soft life, okay? I want to go to the gym. I want to hang out with my sister. I want to travel and I want to eat food. That's it, you know.
Yeah.
Do some health and wellness, go to the spa, hit the banya.
Ooh.
What I bring to the table is I would say an excellent cook, not like the world's finest, but I learn quickly. I have finesse when it comes to certain aspects of life. So like, knowing how to dress right, act right in certain situations, that's hard to get. Newland didn't quite get that with May. So like, he didn't have an intellectual equal or a companion, so to speak. So, if you're looking for that, I can at least provide for you.
Melanie knows, she knows how to keep up her end of the conversation. She reads books.
I'm good at massage.
She's good at massage. And also, she has physical assets.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm. Although I don't even lead with that, because honestly, that's like the least interesting thing about you.
Well, thank you.
I think that like this movie also really gets into that too. It's like it's not necessarily about like being hot isn't enough.
No.
And especially like in these days, 2026, like everyone looks maxed out. Like everyone is so concerned about like on a psychotic level,
right?
About,
appearance,
gotta get the Botox. Like we were talking about before we turned the mics on. Melanie can now get Botox at her dentist. That's like a thing that can happen.
Yeah. And I was giving my consulting advice to my dentist about what he should offer as far as aesthetic dentistry. So he's now looking into getting tooth gems, like all different types too, like even like the ones that say like BFF and stuff like that. Whoa. And then also looking into getting me a set of grills made. So I shout out to you, my dentist. I'm not gonna out him online, because they were like, well, if we start doing tooth gems, everyone's gonna come and it's just gonna be a line out the door and we don't want to work hard. I'm like, oh, totally get that.
Yeah, no, it's like same.
Once you advertise and then like people see that you're doing great things and they sign up with you, you're like, oh my God, I'm too busy.
And then I don't have the soft life anymore. Where's my time? Where's my time to Saysha, I haven't been to the banya in weeks because I've been so busy. I usually try to go once a month.
Yeah.
And I need to get my sauna on. I need some herring and potatoes right now.
Ooh, yeah, much like in the film, all of these interesting foods, like coming by these small plates. I'm like, give me that.
Yeah, they were like, they had so many. Yeah, it was like jaw-dropping, the level of detail. I loved, not just the food, right? All of the carving stations. They would just like bring out, I'm like, here's the duck, here's the turkey,
here's the turtles.
Here's the I'm just like, no. Don't eat those turtles. There was a cake or like maybe a trifle towards the end. It kind of reminded me of like the princess cake that they made on Great British Bake Off. Yes. Maybe I got to get into some baking.
Yeah, some beautiful desserts.
Yeah, and like specifically like very like continental Europe. There's so many like weird dishes, and like back then they had like things in aspic and gelatin and stuff like that. I mean, it's really good. Talk about Botox. That's your natural Botox.
It is, yeah.
You got to eat stuff like that. Like take the hoof of a cow and boil it and eat that.
And then put the remainder on your skin.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Yeah, just like, honestly, y'all, just, I feel like I have pretty good skin. I feel like don't drink alcohol is number one. Huge. Don't booze it up. Limit if you need to. Drink a lot of clear water, not seltzer.
Right. I mean, seltzer's not horrible, but it's just like, it doesn't, they're both water. I don't know if there's an argument against seltzer water versus
seltzer water is like all that carbonation is not good for the tum-tum.
It's not good for your bones.
I think it's more like, well, here's the thing. You want to make sure you're drinking, like close to a gallon a day, depending on your size. Sorry, guys, this is Wellness Corner now. We're in our winter wellness arc and we're going to talk about it. So yeah, you want it like depending on your body size, get closer to a gallon of clear filtered water. And the thing about seltzer, although I know as soon as I say this, I can hear like people in my life like arguing with me. Like you can't chug it. And they'll be like, oh, I drink like 10 LaCroix a day. And I'm like, I don't know why my friend has that kind of accent. I'm talking to Harvey Weinstein.
Right. I know.
I fucking drink 10 seltzers a day and it's fine. Yeah, I think, just drink clear water. And also people are like, why do, Korean women or like Slavic women have such beautiful skin? And it's like, because they eat fruits and vegetables and fermented foods and like their skincare starts from within.
It does. And then also externally, they do be going to the spa.
And the dermatologist.
Yeah.
Like they get their skin checked and then they get like medical grade treatment. They're not just like slapping on some St. Ives peach scrub or whatever.
Well, fact of the day, people, your skin is your largest organ that your body has.
Melanie with Now Science Corner.
Yeah, always tying it back.
Yes.
I wanted to say that next time I'm in New York, we really need to do like Delmonico's or Keen's, because Delmonico's is mentioned in this movie. So I'm like, just these old historical restaurants that are still around. I'm like, I must visit one and dine in. I know it will be $300 per person, but it's fine.
It's fine. We can definitely go to a steakhouse. I feel like that's when you visited last year.
We wanted to, and we didn't.
We wanted to, but we were just so... I remember we were just like burnt.
Well, you guys came back from Vegas and you had already had big steakhouse, so
that's true. We went to the Golden Steer in Las Vegas, which, fun fact, they just opened a Golden Steer in New York.
They did, yeah, but it's not called Golden Steer. It's called like one something, isn't it? It's like a different name.
No, it's called Golden Steer. It's same.
Is it?
I walked by the location the other day because I did a huge walk last week, which was like from Midtown all the way down to Washington Square Park.
Nice.
And it's just north of Washington Square Park. Like you can, it's like those buildings that are like
Street, I think, or
yeah. It's like by all the NYU stuff. And I was just like walking around. It was such a weird day. I was like looking at all this, speaking of like old New York.
Yeah.
Like all of these old houses that have been there since like when most of Manhattan was farm.
Yeah.
It was like an island farm.
The shot of like, which was obviously just like art shots, but it's like of these large homes like starting to set up on these grids, because of course it was like farm homes, things like that, but these grand mansions that were just like surrounded by nothing basically. And then, at the end of the movie, you start to see like how they all filled in with brownstones and all of that. So it's just so fascinating because all of that's still there. Not all of it is there, but a lot of it is, like if you look closely enough.
A lot of it is there. And it's funny because like they talk about like grandma's house and it's like she lived up in the wilderness, like near the Central Park. Is that house still there?
Upper 70s, like what,
Yeah, I think they mention Countess Olenska's address, and I actually looked it up because it was like 5 something, East 60th Street or whatever, or 5th Avenue or whatever.
Yeah.
And I looked it up and it's like, it's still there. It's still an apartment building overlooking the park. I'm like, what if that apartment building or that brownstone was like in your family forever?
I wouldn't live anywhere else.
You wouldn't have to. Yeah. You're set for life. Yeah. Like great New York history movie, very New Yorky movie. And yeah, I don't mind the art bits, like obviously.
No, it wasn't cheesy or anything. It was just meant to show, like, he's really good at visually storytelling, like the whole film. So it's like, you can kind of, with, like you said, the changes in the fashion, the contrast of the fashion, the little tidbits and like interesting jewelry that's functional, things that people wore back then that, they don't anymore, but it's so nice to see it on screen.
Yeah, I like all the little details and, all the locations. It feels very real to me. I loved all the like the contrast between winter in New York and then there's a point where like May goes down to Florida.
Yeah.
And Newland comes to visit her. Cause first I was like, oh, wait, where is she? I'm like, this looks tropical. I'm like, ooh, this looks nice. And I'm like, oh, they're down in Florida. And, you think of this time, it would have been like just after the Civil War.
Yeah.
They could finally go down and enjoy like a nice summer vacation without having to like,
worry about war times.
Worry about war. I mean, although these people were the ones that were benefiting off of everything, this is how they build the war machine. So the wealthy people keep getting rich.
It's just funny because like I know Lady Olenska, she mentions like like wanting to be American again. She was like, I just want to live back here where things are like this. And I don't have to worry about all of this other obligations I have in Europe and the types of people I know there. Cause it's like, I'm sure she kind of created her own, personality there. Right. And then people kind of get wind of that too, because people travel back and forth. So they kind of like clock her while she's in America now and kind of hold her like she doesn't get that fresh start I think she was looking for. And I just thought it was kind of funny how like in this movie gossip is so like at the forefront and like that's just how people related to each other and had found commonality. They really enjoyed like talking about other people's business and they still do,
They still do, but it's like the news back then. Obviously, this is before. I mean, all they had was letters, a lot of letters, right?
Yeah. No one's posted on socials. Let's romanticize that.
Yeah. And it's like gossip. It's like it can make or break you in society, but it's going to be like slower to decline and also like slower to repair. And you saw like Granny wanted to throw a big party for Lady Olenska and like everyone slighted them. So Newland had to go to like basically the richest people in town, be like, hey, can you throw a little party for her? Cause like she's really struggling here. So just like going to show how like you really in that society, you really needed people. You couldn't be independent. There's even a line, Ellen, let's just call her Ellen, yeah. Lady Olenska. She's like, oh, I fear I'm too independent. And that's the whole thing. Like you really needed your people around you. Like that's the thing. You could be like, well, why didn't Newland and Ellen just like go off and do their own thing? And it's like, you wouldn't have like people would have cut you off.
Yeah. You would have had to have like amassed so much wealth and like trunks to take with you to like buy a whole new life. Like it would have been almost nearly impossible.
Or you just like, I mean, I was thinking, I'm like, if that had happened to me and I was like, well, fuck society and I don't want to like do this anymore. Just like hoard your wealth or like put it in a Swiss bank or something, sell everything and just downsize. Cause you see these houses, I think they really do a good job at like showing all the wealth and like the excess,
the opulence,
the opulence. I was like, you know what? Like, at least we can say the shitty rich people back then, they had style.
They did.
Yeah. Now it's just trash.
It is. It's so unfortunate and so disgusting to look at.
It's disgusting. And just like, no, money can't buy you class.
No. And even still, like, I always think about, I'm like, when I am a wealthy person, right? It's like, I wouldn't want to have one giant home like the one I sent you on Instagram. That was just more so of like a joke. But it's like I would rather have a lot of small places to go and visit. So like maybe a home in London, New York, maybe like a rental on like somewhere in Japan or Korea, just like little small places that I can go and travel to and have like my own sense of home, that would be perfect.
You just need, this company is also bad now, but you just need a bunch of like Airbnbs that you own.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
You just bounce around and then just rent them out when you don't need them. I mean, that's like, real estate really is the ultimate.
Hey, they're not making more land, unless you're in Dubai.
Wait, do they do that now in Dubai?
Yeah, they build islands all the time.
Wow.
Should we go on these man-made islands? I mean, I'm not opposed. It's not like on my top by any means. I have, I do have a travel list of things I'm prioritizing.
She pulls it out. She whips out a list like instantly. Dubai is not on it.
It is not on it, but I'm not saying I won't go there.
You could just think of all the Dubai chocolate you could eat.
Yeah, but like really one piece is enough. And that's the thing. Like even with baklava, I love baklava, but like 2 bites, you're good. It's so rich and so sweet.
Yeah, the Dubai chocolate I feel got like played out. And the thing is, I love pistachio. It's like one of my favorite flavors.
Oh yeah, I love pistachio too, especially like gelato.
But I if I want pistachio, I'm gonna order like a fresh kanafa, you know, like the delicious pastry with honey, pistachio, phyllo dough. Now I'm hungry. I'm ready to go to the spa and then like, you know, go to the bakery after. Thank God I live in New York. I can just have this all the time. I'm sure. Well, you can also have this in Michigan, but you're gonna have to drive for it quite a bit.
Yeah. I do want to bring up something about like their wedding gifts. So like when Newland and May, he pushes the wedding because he's like seeing that he's falling in love with this other woman. He's trying to like push it out of his mind almost in a way, distract himself. Like, let's just seal the deal so I don't have to worry about this anymore. But that's not going to change anything.
Absolutely.
You know? So they push up the wedding and like, of course, Ellen, she can't make it. She doesn't want to go to that wedding. She's like, I'm traveling with an aunt, which was kind of what they were doing with in a room with a view. You know, I just gotta go travel with my cousin.
Absolutely.
And so, like, it's almost like, so what she gave them as a wedding gift was like a piece of lace, like an old piece of lace. And I was like, what the fuck is that? I mean, I know it's probably worth something back then, but I'm just like, oh yeah, sorry, I can't make it to your wedding, cousin. I would have objected the marriage because I'm so like hot for your husband. By the way, here's a piece of old lace. Good luck with everything. Like, just crazy.
This is also a part in the movie when I like tapped my husband on the knee and I was like, see, because we eloped.
Yeah.
Right? We ran off to Vegas and we did the deed and I don't regret it. It was lovely and perfect. However, if you do a proper old school wedding, you're going to get like a whole registry. And like, you notice like, yes, they got silver, china. I was like, ooh, look at those forks. We need forks. We actually need butter knives right now. You know, we're running low. And I was like, you see, and a piece of lace. Like, I just need that, you know?
I just need that piece of lace. It's going to change my whole life.
Well, I think it's important to note that like lace is like the ultimate luxury fabric,
especially back then. Yeah,
it's
all handmade.
It's like a part of your trousseau. It's a part of like, it goes in your hope chest and then you give that to your daughter. And it's just like this very like old school, like the whole thing. I was like, oh, right. The ritual of marriage, like the idea of marrying for love, you know, since we're talking about love, is revolutionary and quite new. People did not marry for love, you know, even if you were poor. But for years, marriage was simply a social tool to get ahead and acquire wealth. And land. That's it. So, you know, really, you're just taking it back, Melanie.
I mean, that's what I'm looking for.
You're like, I don't give a shit about love.
Yeah, I mean, I do, but I love can buy you things like freedom of time, which is what I want the most.
Right. Yeah. No, you can't get time back.
No, you cannot.
And that's the thing. These are all people of leisure, although, you know, very similar to like the people in A Room with a View, right? Even though this would have been, it's funny to think that A Room with a View is a little bit ahead of this time.
Yeah, just like what, like 30-ish years?
30 years. Yeah, 30 years in the future. So like in the end of Age of Innocence, that's kind of what time they're in. There's motor cars.
Yeah.
But there's still horses and buggies. And, you know, they're talking about the new ways. And Newland and May would have been like sort of like the last of a dying breed.
100%. And like the whole ending where this man will, the lengths he will go for love. He is thinking about killing his wife. He's thinking about like just moving away. He's thinking about doing all these things, like just like he's really spiraling because of he's so in love with Ellen. And like he gets to a point where he is like about to tell May, hey, I have to tell you something. I need to get away. I need to leave. You know, I'm trying to go to like far away for some time, so like don't call for me, like just trying to like write himself off so he can go spend time with Ellen, which I totally get, you know.
Yeah,
and so
absolutely.
he's like telling her this, and then she's like, oh well, my suspicions were true, I'm with child. And I'm like, you know what, this man, he's still out here bucking his wife that he's married to, and he knows he screwed up, and like he should have just went after his thing like back in the beginning instead of like, you know, spinning this big web even further and making it harder to get out. Now he's got some kids coming out. You're done. You're cooked. You're cooked. And especially in that time period, now everyone just gets divorced and it's normal. Like they're like, whatever, bye. Or like, you know, absentee parenting. Totally. It was a thing back then too, but now we're just like, whatever. So I'm like, oh man, if only she didn't get pregnant, which like you should have just like laid off on that, or, you know, did a different method if you're really thinking smart. So he kind of was having his cake and eating it too. So I didn't really feel so bad for him in the end. I kind of felt bad for the sake of like, that he didn't act sooner.
Yeah, no, it's really a cautionary tale. It's funny because like I remember like when I watched this as a kid, I was like, oh, Winona Ryder, like May is the villain because she's like the obstacle, right, to the love. But I was like, honestly, she was just like doing her part, right? She just did what she was told her whole life.
Right.
And she didn't really have a lot of options either. That's the thing. Like none of these women had a lot of options. So really, I was like, is Newland the villain? I mean, he, you know, hot. I think we forgive hot people a lot of shit.
We do, yeah.
But I was just like, yeah, like you are clearly like head over heels for Ellen. Like, go do that thing. Instead of like being behind their back. It would have been
sooner forgiven if dealt with in the beginning than waiting till the last minute and really just like, you know, trying to do all these crazy things. Kill his wife, hoping she gets ill. Like that's wild. Like you never want to have ill will going into like a new phase in your life. So it's just like, just words need to have been had. And I totally understand it's not of the time, but come on.
Well, and I was thinking too, I'm like, that was such a dark part that I forgot about. Yeah. He's just like, yeah, sick. You know, people got sick all the time and died for no reason. He's out here like gently manifesting that for himself. And I was just like, think of how many marriages were like that, like people who cannot get divorced or, you know, separated, and they're just like hating their spouse.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's not love. That's the opposite of love.
That's the opposite of what this month is all about.
Right. Yeah. I was like, ooh, this movie took a dark turn.
Oh, it was so good though. Like I just thought that the visual storytelling was 10 out of 10. Even when like Newland's buying, you know, her roses, yellow roses for his yellow rose, and then the white lilies for his pure innocent little love that he's got on the side. Like it's just so good. And it's funny because he mentions it to her too, like, oh, I sent your cousin roses. Like he's not trying to like totally like hide his actions. He's just trying to like sweep them under the rug or like white lie his way into like making it accepted.
Yeah.
And like even still, like when he's going to send the roses, he doesn't send his name with the card. And then she, you know, Ellen, she clocks it later and she's like, oh yeah, sending my person, you know, my interest, yellow roses, will they do that or whatever? And like it's just so good.
Yeah,
like representations of both of them with the flowers, you know.
Yeah, there's a lot of like language of flowers in this, which I was also obsessed with as a kid. Like I would read these books about like how, you know, back in the day, again, it's all like unspoken love. You can't just come out and be like, yo, I want to fuck you. So you have to be a little more subtle with it. And it's like, yeah, roses meant a certain thing. The color of the rose meant a certain thing. Like where it was placed. I was like, yeah, a lot of flowers in this movie. Did you notice all the men, they had magnolias on their lapels at the opera?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that had to smell like magnolias. And they're all Southern flowers that would have had to have been shipped.
Right.
Like the expense. I was like, all this stuff is like, again, it's a fetishy movie. This movie is BDSM for me. It's like, yeah, I don't need whips and chains. That's corny boots.
Corny,
like, yeah, this is like the ultimate. I was like, ooh, give me a petticoat, give me a flower on the
Take me to the opera.
Take me to the opera, baby. Somebody, please take me to the opera. I have asked my husband several times.
Oh, you'll go.
We will. It's not like he's opposed, but
you should go for your first anniversary.
Maybe we'll go sooner. We'll go for like our 6 month. We just passed our 3 months, so
let's throw a party.
Let's fucking throw a party and repost my wedding photos.
Well, final thoughts. I will say, rating. I know yours. I know mine. It's an A.
Solid
A. 10. Yeah, I will watch this again, and I will yearn the same way I did. And maybe I will cry the second time around, but it was just such a great movie. It really shows like the pains of love and like the things that you will do for love and compromises and little white lies. And yeah, it just took me to my core.
I'm glad it was a good choice for Love Month. Again, I pull a lot of these movies pretty like intuitively. I was like, okay, what were the romance movies I was into as a child? And I was like, can you imagine a 12-year-old watching this? Just like, what was I thinking? I don't know. It was just, I mean, I really lived in a golden era of like period movies. Like I and this is what I miss. Like, that's why, like, you mentioned stuff like Bridgerton. I'm like, yeah, that's good. But like, I'm going to watch.
It's not that good, but it's like, it's just candy,
And that's the thing. I always say this, I'm highbrow, lowbrow. I'm saying
this is a full course meal with dessert,
I'm sitting here talking about Martin Scorsese films. I'm sorry. With my sister right now. You can't see me, but I'm wearing a trucker hat and an oversized t-shirt, and I'm drinking a Gatorade.
Hell yeah.
Because I'm a little under the weather.
Ooh.
So it's time for more wellness and more indoor movies and indoor fun having.
Yes, 100%. Like, get yourself transported with this movie because it will take you on a journey.
Yeah, you know what? Buy yourself a beautiful, like, go to a perfume store and like smell some good smells.
I do have a scent by Diptyque that is Eau Rose, right? But it's like it captures like a rose being outside, like after the rain. Like, it's really fragrant but also cooling. Something about it. Spray that, or like go buy some flowers for yourself. Put it in your house. Have a little delicious canapé and watch this movie. You're gonna be like so happy that you did.
Even if you're not one of the 1%, even if you're a poor like us, you can buy yourself flowers and go to a market and get yourself some caviar. They make that, it's not that expensive.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you think about it, cost per bite, it's up there, but it's like, how often you're not going to have it every day.
Well, I live near some very good Russian markets. So
true. So you can get it all the time, but
I can get it all the time. It can be pricey, but think about it. Like, it's quality, not quantity. And like, don't spend your money on like Grubhub or whatever. Like,
right. But I mean, like, you could also you would have to get like a specialized spoon for it. You can't just have it with your fork. You have to have it with a bone spoon, or like wood would be like less offensive.
Oh, wow. So you tell me I can't eat my caviar with a plastic spoon?
I mean, you could probably have it with plastic. It just can't be metal because it changes the taste.
Wow. I didn't know that. I learned something.
That's why they have like the little bone china spoons for the caviar. Yeah, it's not just decorative. It's for the taste and the flavor. See, I'm a lady of decadence.
Everyone, do you hear what a lady my sister is? Will some count or viscount?
Duke?
Please, Duke. We got a Duke for her.
Relatively speaking, yeah.
I know we have listeners in Europe and Eurasia, and if you are some sort of a baron,
hey, Dubai, I'll go there if you got that money.
Yo, you got that money?
Yeah.
You're like, I'll get used to it.
Yeah, 100% that heat. See, that's the thing. Like, I don't want to be hot all the time. I like my seasons.
You're gonna wear a caftan and have some Dubai chocolate.
Side note, though, I should have totally named my cat Alenska.
It's not too late. You can add it to her name. Her name is Beatrice. What's
Duchess Beatrice something Olenska Nadolski.
That just add it to the list.
Yeah.
Add it to the list. And then when you put it on her vet papers, just have them write it all out.
Yeah, I'll be like, actually, the prescription is not correct. It needs to be under this. Yeah.
That's right. Well, you know what? It's naming.
Opulence, everyone.
Opulence, change your name. Put who's to stop you from putting a title in front of your name? You too can be a countess.
They did say that they, one of the, I think it was, Newland's, was it Newland's sister was like, oh, I would have changed my name to like Elena. It sounds more Polish.
Yeah. Oh, she says, I would have changed my name to Elaine. It sounds more Polish. Yeah. That's such a great line. But that was the thing. Yeah, no, it's like the Poles were like, they were very aspirational. Mm-hmm. They had that sort of like that old world regal kind of romanticism. Like saying that like the Americans were always like, Europeans, but also they want to be that.
Yeah, you could see them all in the theater trying to do their best impression.
I love it. Yeah, we're gonna go to the theater. We're gonna do some wellness. Thanks everyone for listening.
Yeah,
and tune in. We have one more episode left for Love Month, and oh boy, is it gonna be out of pocket. So I wonder if you can guess what it is. I kind of hinted to it today. So that's all for now.
Thank you, everyone.
We'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of VHS Sisters.
We hope you've had a fun and cozy time.
Please consider liking, leaving a review, and following us on your podcast platform of choice.
If you'd like to chat with us, please email us at VHSsisterspodcast@gmail.com.
Love you. Bye. That's it.